Hey guys, my name's Wes and you're watching Wes Nichols TV, and today I'm reviewing Deepwater Horizon. Deepwater Horizon is a 2016 disaster action film starring Mark Wahlberg, Kate Hudson, John Malkovich, Kurt Russell, and Dylan O'Brien. It is directed by Peter Berg, and my favorite thing about this film is the fact that it crosses over so many genres so seamlessly, so well. First being, yes, I know it's just called a disaster action film, and there's plenty of action and there's plenty of disaster in this movie, and it does that part just very, very well. But there's plenty of comedy as well, early on especially, and it's comedy that's down to earth. It makes it to where you now know all the supporting cast. You now really have your heart is with the Mark Wahlberg character. You really want to see him survive because you know at some point this is all going to go crazy and he might not make it out, and you want to see him make it out just because of how well they established this. This is his family. This is how he is with his family, how much he loves his family. These are all his friends we work with. Peter Berg does this thing where he makes you feel like you are part of the movie. You don't talk, but you're there, you're in the room. You feel like you're working on this oil rig, or you live in the town of Dillon, Texas. This is what Peter Berg does best, and he does that once again, just an outstanding job in this film, because I felt like for a while I was working on this oil rig too. I'm like, man, I'm just taking my friends right now, they're telling jokes, I should speak up. Nope, I'm not going to speak up. And then when stuff does go crazy later on, you feel like it's a madhouse, and you feel like you're there in the action with them, which makes it just that much more captivating and that much more interesting to watch. It keeps you on the edge of your seat. There's plenty of moments that felt like horror to me. I mean, when stuff finally does start to go like very, very, very wrong, it felt like Final Destination in the best possible way. It was the best parts of Final Destination tossed into this. No, it wasn't gory like Final Destination, but when you're seeing something go across the screen and it's hitting people, and there are people who are taking some serious, physical damage, that reminded me of that in the best possible way. It made me smile. From the comedy to the drama to the just strictly emotional beats that really trying to push into your face to the horror stuff in there, the action, this movie blends the genres that well. I've talked about it for a minute and a half now, more than almost anything I talk about at all on this channel, because it does it that well, and it's such a huge positive to this movie. It's what makes this movie really work. On top of that, very good visuals. Like, the movie is touching on some things that very easily just have been done with CG, and most of it had to be done with CG, but the fact that you don't notice it, there's maybe one moment very early on in the film where I'm like, okay, yeah, that's CG. But for the most part, it's like, yeah, this feels like they set up these real life, practical effects, maybe they did, and turned stuff on and things are flying across, but it felt that way. It felt like a crazy, like I said before, madhouse. It felt like I was having struggle to breathe, I was on the edge of my seat, and that's just because the environment he created using all the visual effects, they were phenomenal. The acting in the movie was top-notch across the board. The characters who they wanted you to like, you loved. You loved Mark Wahlberg's character. You wanted to see him get home. You got stories. Dylan O'Brien's character. You really wanted to see this kid get out of there. You wanted to see him live. You have to see Kurt Russell, who is, you can tell he's annoyed by these BP people all the time. He's sitting there like, no, we need to do this. Why did you send this person to do this? And you hate BP. This movie very quickly makes you realize they were strictly being greedy. They weren't doing what they were supposed to do, and they knew they were cutting corners, and they didn't care, because what are the odds? And then in real life, because this isn't just a movie, this is a real life event, everything that they thought couldn't happen, happened, and it became insanity. I don't normally want to see people die, especially when it's based on a true story, because that means that person died in real life. But in this film, I so badly wanted to see John Malkovich die. Because this scummy piece of dirt, who every sign, he's there, there's testing going on, he's like, oh, well, it's this, because we're doing this, because you guys are 48 days, or 47 days, or 43 days behind schedule. And I hated this guy, and that's because he wanted you. Peter Berg wanted you to hate this guy, and you hate this guy. I cannot stress enough, the acting was top-notch, the genre blending, the comedy, the action, it all is up there in the highest of quality. I was very impressed by this film. It's a movie I was not really looking forward to all that much until this last week or so when some buzz started coming out, and it lived up to my expectations. It exceeded them. As far as negatives go, I only have one really big negative that I'm going to even speak about in this review. And that is the fact that I feel like it ends about 10 minutes too short. You get one short scene in the aftermath of this horrific event that shows some of the effects of the PTSD that these guys all obviously would get in this crazy nightmare that was real life. and I would have liked to see 10 more minutes of that. Because that stuff is gripping. You get to fall and truly love these characters, and you want to see these people, survive. And for the people who did survive, now I want to see how do they get back to normal life. You are given the little, this person now does this in text, but give me a shorter scene from each, or just one long scene with the character with a family, and see how the beginning to the end is different, how these people have changed. Because that stuff is interesting. We got to see that kind of American Sniper when he was going back and forth. I think that could have really just pushed this film over the top as far as overall. But still, I love this movie. I think it's great. I think that if you like true stories, this is a movie for you to check out. If you like disaster movies, oh my God, Rowan Emmerich, take notes. This guy did it right. If you just want to see Mark Wahlberg be Mark Wahlberg, well, maybe not this movie, but he plays Mike Williams hell of well. I'm pretty sure that's the guy's name. If I get that wrong, I'm sorry. Attack me in the comment section. And that's why I'm going to give this movie a 8.5 out of 10. I almost gave it a 9, but not thinking 9. It's 8.5 out of 10. But that's just my opinion. I want to know yours. What did you think about it? Let me know in the comment section down below. And while you're down there, click the like button right over here. Click subscribe right over there to get more of my reviews. Like my link to Sully, Another True Story. That'll be right here. You can follow me on Twitter at WesNichols14. You can share my videos anywhere on social media you want. It helps me out a lot. Thanks for watching, guys. My name is Wes. You're watching Wes Nichols TV. Have a great night. Bye.